Good morning, everyone. So today we are going to see the principles of design. So before we see the principle of designs, let's talk about the composition first. What's the composition in art? What is it?
I have no clue.
Okay, you have no. Yeah, yeah, it can be. It's hard, It's kind of hard to answer. Anyone else?
What is composition or
Mm-hmm.
principle of design?
Can you a little bit speak up? Anna, Anna, can you speak up?
Is it elements of art?
Oh, yes. It's elements of art. Yes, it can be.
I'm sorry, my stuff just stopped. My mic.
It's okay. Who else? Too hard? Too hard to answer?
Steps that you take to finish an art,
Huh?
like the steps you take to finish the art.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, it could be.
Arrangements of elements.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
basically, it's like the guidelines to art. Then
that's right. That's right. So it can be a guideline. So it can be a design overall, the work of art. So the composition is the organization of a work. So this is a significant part in art. Give me 1 second. Yeah, we just started class and we just talked about the composition. So Omotaro.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's the composition?
Composition?
In art?
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It's hard to answer. Yep. So
I think,
yeah, I will let you know.
I think it
So
means putting together or something.
uh-huh.
I said I think it means like putting together
Oh
public
yeah.
artwork or something.
Yes. Yes. It could be. That's right. So composition is the organization of all the visual elements within a work of art. So artists design their compositions using guideline known as the principles of design. So let's see the principles of design to create a great composition. So most of artists consider these 5 principles of design when they make a work of art. So the first one is unity and variety. And the next one is balance and scale and proportion and emphasis and subordination. And the last one is pattern and design. So today we're going to see these first 3 principles of design: unity and variety, balance, scale, and proportion. So let's see unity first. So unity is the sense of oneness, things belonging together and making up a coherent whole. So there are 3 types of unity. First one is compositional unity. And second one is conceptual unity. And the third one is Gestalt unity. So let's see what these are. So compositional unity is just like positioning or organizing visual object in a work of art. So an artist creates compositional unity by organizing all the visual aspects of art. And these three similar diagrams are illustrating the idea of compositional unity. So although this A diagram is unified with the similar shapes and very organized lines, but it lacks the visual interest of B, because B has the diversity. And while C is a unified work, its visual variety feel incoherent and chaotic. An artist use the elements of art to create the compositional unity. So let me show you the actual example with the compositional unity. This painting, in the last chapter, we learned line, right? And I said line shows the movement and mood in a work of art. So we saw three lines, horizontal and vertical and diagonal lines. So which line can you find in this work of art? It shows a strong, movement in here.
Wait, Professor, can you ask the question again?
So we learned three lines, horizontal and vertical. And the last one is diagonal. Diagonal, yes, diagonal. It shows a strong movement in this work of art, like this. So everything is, consists of with the diagonal lines. So these paintings, chaotic scenes of shipwrecked man on a raft in the turbulent sea is unified by its strong composition. So the implied diagonal lines created by the man's dying bodies, the rest mast, and arms are reaching out for rescue from an X shape. That provides a strong framework for the figures and heightens dynamic intensity. So now let's see conceptual unity. So for example, there are diverse images here, right? And I set a conceptual idea as full bloom. So I picked three images like this, flowers, full bloom, cauliflowers, full bloom, and sea anemones, full bloom. So it seems like there is no connection between these three images. However, these are conceptually united. So the conceptual links that artists make between symbols and ideas derive from the collective experiences of their culture. So this influences both the means that artists use to create unity and the viewer's interpretation of the work. So here is another example to show the conceptual unity. So, so what can you see in this work of art?
Vertical and horizontal lines.
Yes, the bird on a horizontal line. Yeah.
Mhm.
Very good. Very good. And what else?
There's one diagonal line, right?
Yeah, there's diagonal lines. So now let's focus on the objects in this work of art. There is a bird, and what else?
Wire. There's a
Mhm.
wire in the middle.
Yeah, wire. Yeah, the bird seems like playing with the wire. Yeah,
That's a ball or lemon.
yeah, it's a ball. Yes, there is a yellow ball. So where is it? Where is the yellow ball?
In between two horizontal lines.
Very good. Yes, yes. So the ball is on the two, rail. Yes. So it seems like a track in this rail, right? So the ball, can just move in this track. So the ball can just back and forth in this rail, but it cannot go anywhere except for this rail, just like this bird, because the bird is in the cage. So there is no freedom for this bird and the ball. So these two objects are conceptually united. So that is the conceptual unities example. So now let's see the Gestalt unity. So Gestalt, the Gestalt is a German word for form or shape, refers to a work of art in which the whole seems greater than the sum of its part. So basically, Gestalt unity is like a repetition of the similar shapes, like this work of art, to make a unity in the work of art. So now let's see variety. So variety is opposite meaning of unity. So variety is differences that provide interest and contrast in art. So in art, variety is a collection of ideas, elements, or materials that are fused together into one design. So variety can invigorate a design. This example shows a composition of shapes set into a rectangle grid on a grid. So even though the grid structure is predictable, uh, the variety of shapes and values counteracts the rigid structure. So many artists use this kind of variety of express an energy that would be lost if there were too much unity. So variety is the artist's way of giving a work of art a jolt. Okay. So unity is the sense of oneness, and variety is the differences in art. So looks like a totally opposite concepts. However, all artworks include unity and variety together. So let me show you examples. So look at this painting by Jackson Pollock. So Jackson Pollock was an American painter and a major figure in the abstract expressionist movement. And he was widely noticed for his technique of pouring or splashing liquid household paint onto a horizontal surface. And that technique is called action painting. So we're gonna learn it when you learn the 20th century's work, the art history. And so now, can you find the unity and variety in this painting? So which part can be unity and which features can be variety in this work of art?
I feel like the variety in this artwork is the colors,
Very
because
good.
it's different colors. But the unity of the painting is the design of it, how it's
Yeah,
splattered. There's nothing else going on with the painting but splatters and different colors. So that's the unity and variety.
very good. Very good. That's the perfect answer. Very good. Yes. Yes. So when we see the whole painting, we can see the oneness by the same technique on the canvas, right? The splashing, the paint with lots of layers. But when we see it closer, so we can see the splashed paints colors are different and the sizes and shapes are random. So that factors make the variety. So the Pollock's painting has unity and variety at the same time. How about this work? What's the unity and what's the variety in this work of art?
Different writing, different pictures coming together to create a cross.
Yes, yes, perfect. That can be the variety. How about the unity?
The frames,
The frames, yeah,
the way it's positioned, they're all hanging by a string.
yes, very good,
And even the pictures, they're like black and white edits,
very good.
other than the words and the
Mhm. Yes, yes, that was perfect. So, so when you see the you know, this work of art, so so the so it's using the work of art is using the conceptual art with the text and photographs, and it repeats in the piece of work. So that factors can be unity in this work of art. And when you see the composition, it looks like very natural. So we can not find the unity in the composition. Also, the text art has different colors and the photograph shows different body parts. So that factors can be variety in this work of art. So as you can see, unity and variety are always together in a work of art. So that gives us interest and pleasure in the oneness. So that is the point. They're always together. So let's move on to the next principle, balance. So balance refers to apparent heaviness and lightness of forms arranged in composition. So there are two types of balance in art, symmetrical and asymmetrical balance. So let's see one by one. So symmetrical balance is the mirror image of the shapes or forms on either side of an imaginary axial dividing line. So the elements correspond to one another in size, shape, and placement. So look at this pattern image. So there is an imaginary vertical axial on the center of the image. The left side of the vertical axial correspond to the right side image. So that is called symmetrical balance. And here's another example. So there is an imaginary horizontal axial on the center of the image, and the top part of the axial corresponds to the bottom part. So this is symmetrical balance. So now, asymmetrical balance. So asymmetrical balance is two sides that do not correspond to one another in size, shape, and placement. So, so the most popular asymmetrical balance types are here. There are 6 types in art. So the first one is, on the left side, there is a large form, and there is a small form on the right side. So large form is visually heavier than a smaller form. And the second one is there is the dark form, and there is a light form, and these are the same size of the forms. But the left one, the dark one, looks heavier than the lighter one. And number 3, so the form's size looks like same, but the left one has the textured. So the textured form is visually heavier than a plain form. Number 4, in the same size of the forms, a complex form is visually heavier than a simple form of the same size. And number 5, 2 or more small forms can balance a larger one. And number 6, a smaller dark form can balance a larger light form. So let me show you the example to apply on one of these asymmetrical balance type in a work of art. So this is a Pablo Picasso's painting, A Girl Before a Mirror, in 1932. So can you guess which types of asymmetrical balance Pablo Picasso used in this painting? So let me show you the examples again, the options. So there are 6 types. Which asymmetrical types did he use for this painting?
Large form and
Or
small.
number 3, because of the colors.
The textured form?
Yes.
I see.
Number 1.
Number 1. But it looks like, almost, same.
It's the same size.
Yes, it can be same size. Yes.
Or number 5.
Number 5. Really?
Mhm.
Just
a tad. Just a little.
Yeah, that's why I said number 2 or number 3, because they look like the same size. The only thing on one side, it has more colors than the other.
That's right. Actually, it's
Yeah.
number 2 form. So one size, the girl in the mirror is dark.
Yes.
Yes, and this girl on the left side is bright. So it can be the number 2 feature of asymmetrical balance. Very good. And here's another example. So this is Gustav Klimt painting. Can you guess which asymmetrical type Gustav Klimt used?
This one can be number 2.
Number 3.
Number 3.
And number 1.
Number 1. Okay, so let's look at the size first. Are they same?
No, one's bigger.
Yes, yes. And how about the darkness?
Yeah, it's lighter.
Yeah, one is lighter and one is dark.
Darker.
And which one?
And the darker is
Number 3.
It is
It's
Number
different
2
size.
and number 3, you have lighter and
Yeah,
darker.
2 and 3.
Number 3, but it looks like the same size. But the Gustave Klimt painting looks like it has the different size.
Oh yeah, the size. Yeah.
Yes. So which one?
So I would say
Number 1.
and it has a different meaning. Like the first one is more deeper.
number 6.
Number 6.
Yeah, because the darker one is smaller and the light
right.
is larger.
That's right. Perfect. So it has the last asymmetrical features have. That's right. Very good. And here's the tricky one. So can you guess which asymmetrical balance applied in this Oriental painting?
4.
You should use your creativity.
So I said 4,
4.
but
What was the 4? Yes, the complex form, but it's not.
number 3.
Number 3. Okay. So here's the
I would say number 5. Reason being, it has
very
number
close.
has one. It has
Okay,
3 different
choose number
sections of
5.
pictures on the canvas.
Yeah, very close. Let's see.
okay.
So use your creativity, just so see this painting widely. So there is a dark object on the top corner, and there's nothing on the rest part of the the work of art, right? So it can be a light chunk. The rest of part can be the light chunk, and there is a dark small form. So
One with a small dark circle.
yeah, so this that painting used this last, the 6th asymmetrical balance feature. It was tricky, I
Yes.
know. Yes. All
That
right.
was more personal.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next principle, scale and proportion. So scale is the size of an object or artwork relative to another object or artwork, or to a system of measurement. And proportion. So proportion refers to size relationship between parts of a whole or between 2 or more items perceived as a unit. So scale and proportion both have to do with the size. So let's see the scale first. So the scale of a work of art communicates ideas. Small scale pieces force viewers to come in close to experience the work of art. And a small scale work implies intimacy. And a large scale work can be experienced by groups of viewers, and usually communicates big ideas directed at a large audience. So this is David statue in 1501 to 1504 by Michelangelo. Looks really giant sculpture, but looks very beautiful. So he was one of the Renaissance master, and he was a rival of Leonardo da Vinci. So this is a biblical episode, and Michelangelo depicted David for his victory after a battle with Goliath. So Michelangelo's David statue looks like a hero and grandeur. And this statue is much larger than life size because Michelangelo used a monumental scale for indicating heroism. So like this David statue, scale can be used for showing a meaning in art. And let's see, hierarchical scale. So this is a palette of Narmer by ancient Egyptian. So this is more popular as Narmer's pose, which is typical of Egyptian art. So when depicting an important personage, the Egyptian artist strove to show each part of body to best advantage so that it could be read clearly by the viewer. So Narmer's body is seen in profile, the legs are in profile, and his torso is front, and his head is in profile, but his eye front again. So this same pose recurs throughout most two-dimensional art in Egypt. So now let's focus on the size of the figure. So Narmer is obviously larger than other figures in this palette because Narmer is the most important figure in this work of art. So that is hierarchical scale. So artists can use a size to indicate the relative importance of figures or objects in a composition. Almost always larger means more important, and smaller means less important. And this is René Magritt's painting. He was a Belgian surrealist artist, and he became well known for creating a number of witty and thought-provoking images, so often depicting ordinary objects in an unusual context. And his work is known for challenging observers' preconditioned perceptions of reality. So he's using a distorted scale, like this. So look at his painting closer related to scale. Now, can you notice something's weird in this painting?
Yeah, because he's making the airbrush much larger than the bed, and he's the face brush much larger than the closet.
That's right. So that is called a distorted scale. So this is a room, right? And we can see the furniture like a bed, closet, and also we can see a carpet on the floor. So, but the uniqueness of this painting is that the little daily objects are depicted as larger scale, like brush, comb, cup, soap. So this is a distorted scale, and in 20th century, many surrealist artists like this, René Magritte, they love to use distorted scale to create a supernatural effect in their work of art. So let's see proportion. So the relationship between the sizes of different parts of a work make up its proportions. So by controlling these size relationships, an artist can enhance the express and descriptive characteristics of the work. So as size relationships change, proportions change. So look at this example. So A shows a profile of a Greek vase. So if we change the width, like B, or if we change the height, like C, and the overall proportions change. So each of these vase profiles communicates a different feeling simply because the ratio of height to width is different. So when the width is reduced, the vase seems elegant and light. And reducing the height produces the positive effect that the vase seems clumsier and weightier than the original profile. And so there is a human proportion. So we can make a perfect square and a circle shape with our body proportion. So this is discovered by the Renaissance master Leonardo da Vinci. So when we straightly open our arms, then the length from the left fingertips to the right fingertips is same as our height. So it's not exactly accurate, but it's almost the same as our height. And the proportion can make a perfect circle with the certain angles with our arms and legs like this. Very interesting discovery. And the golden section. So the Greeks' interest in the use of mathematical formulas to determine perfect proportions has fascinated artists ever since. So one of the best known formulas is what has become known since the Renaissance as the golden section. So the golden section is a unique ratio of line divided into two segments so that the sum of both segments is to the longer segment as the longer segment is to the shorter segment. So the result is 1 to 1.618. So this is Parthenon in Athens, Greece, constructed between 447 BCE and 438 BCE. So dedicated to the goddess Athena Parthenos, or Athena the warrior maiden. So this is the most typical architecture to use the golden section. So we are done here. So we're gonna continue to see the rest of principles of design next week. And today we have a discussion. I saw some of you already posted it. So everyone, please go to week 3 and go find discussion 3.2. for today's discussion. So today's discussion is kind of fun. So choose one of the discussion list below and explain. So number 1, list 5 objects that represent formal or symmetrical balance. And number 2, list 5 objects that are asymmetrical and radial balance. Number 3, list 5 objects that are unity and variety. Number 4, list 5 objects that are scale and proportion.